I've been meaning to do this review for a little while now, man, but it's like every time I, go to sit down, record, and, or write the review, I kind of get distracted, man. But thankfully, had a little bit of free time today, man, and I said, yo, I cannot go another week without reviewing Arc Raiders and, giving my honest opinion of why I think it did the impossible, or kind of what seems to be impossible for a lot of these AAA devs nowadays, man. And that's just delivering a really, really fun product, extremely polished, really haven't ran into any bugs 60 plus hours into the game, right? Definitely one of the most polished Unreal Engine 5 games I played. And if you know anything about the studio who made this game, shout out to Embark Studios. They also made the finals, which I think didn't get enough love from just the FPS fan base all around. Whether it's the COD people refusing to give any other game than Call of Duty a chance, whether it's Battlefield people that were still delusional staying on 2042, whatever the case may be, right? This game is amazing. And coming from the finals, I actually went on record for saying that the finals was the true first next-gen shooter we've gotten this generation. And, I still stand by that now. Now we got stuff like Arc Raiders, we got stuff like Battlefield 6. I can't put the Call of Duties in there because they are cross-gen. So until they stop making games for the PS4 and Xbox One, I cannot and will not consider those true next-generation shooters. So hopefully, Activision leave the last-gen consoles behind at some point. So why I say they did the impossible? Because for one, the price point for $40 is just absolutely amazing for the amount of content you get, the amount of fun you get in this game, and the amount of polish you get into this game is absolutely amazing. And they also listen to the community. The prices in the store was I wouldn't say egregious, but it was kind of greedy. Let's just call it what it is. It was greediness. And it's not a free-to-play game. When your game is free-to-play, you might be able to get away like with Apex Legends, which I still don't agree with. We're getting away with $20+ skins. You can get away with that. But when people is buying your games, whether it's COD, Black Ops, Battlefield, and Arc Raiders in this case, right? Nobody wants to spend the full price to support your game, and then you nickel and dime the hell out of us to support your cosmetics. That is not cool. Guess what Embark Studios did? They listened to the community. Within a week or two of getting the feedback from people complaining about that, they went back and lowered the price of every cosmetic in the store. That is absolutely amazing, man. So when it comes to listening to the community, Embark is definitely leading the way. So with that being said, I just wanted to give a brief history on Embark and what they did before this with the finals and how much I appreciate their prior work into going into this. So Arc Raiders, man, absolutely amazing game. A fun as extraction shooter, and we don't have too many really fun and addictive extraction shooters on consoles. Now on the PC side, I know they have a lot of options over there, but for us it's kind of limited. We don't got too many. That's why I'm still am and was excited for Marathon coming from Bungie, and I hope they can get it together and get that game out the door eventually as well, because I don't want to see any game fail. So with that being said, let's jump into this review. And the very first thing I want to talk about, man, is the graphics. As I mentioned to start the review, this game is absolutely beautiful, man. No matter what system you're playing on, if it's PC, if it's PlayStation. For me, I'm playing on a PS5 Pro. I'm not sure if it's Pro Enhanced. I never cared to go check and see. All I know is from the very moment I loaded into the first time playing this game, even in the beta, I was like, holy smokes, this game is absolutely beautiful, man. I have never had a slowdown. I haven't had frame drops. I haven't had server issues or lagging or anything like that. No matter how hectic it get, and this game can get hectic if you're trying to take down big arcs and the robots and stuff like that. And if you team up with people, it's a lot of explosions and a lot of combat going on. So from that perspective, it always held a rock solid 60. Never dipped or anything from what I can understand and what I can see with my eyes. Absolutely beautiful, optimized game. Graphics is just gorgeous, man. For this to be a extraction multiplayer shooter and co-op, I'm like, this world is extremely detailed. Everything feels good, sound good. And I'm gonna group the audio in with the graphics real quick because I feel like they go hand in hand. Oh my lord, I don't understand how this game wasn't nominated for any audio awards from the Game of the Year awards. If you care about those, Jeff Keighley show, kind of biased in my humble opinion, but this game definitely deserves some recognition for stellar audio design. My lord, the audio design in this game is fantastic. I absolutely love it. The graphics is fantastic as well. So let's talk about the gameplay, man. The gameplay is pretty simple. It took me a few rounds to actually get the gist of what I'm supposed to be doing. you know, coming from someone that don't really play too many extraction shooters, I had to kind of learn the gameplay loop. And once you learn the gameplay loop, man, it's absolutely freaking addicting and amazing, man. You know, going out with a free loadout or a custom loadout, you know, going, meeting other raiders, whether they're friendly or evil. Like, you know, I got my evil moments. You know, you might even see some in the clips in the background. You know, don't judge. I'm a piece of shit sometimes. But, man, this gameplay loop is absolutely fun, man. It stings when you lose all your stuff, man, but it feels so good when you make it back to Speranza with all your things, man. So I absolutely love the gameplay loop. The gunplay feels absolutely amazing. The skill tree is dope as well, you know, whether it's upgrading stuff like your stamina, being able to loot containers quicker or you know, quietly. I think, you know, every skill tree is interesting for someone, you know. I don't got too many complaints about anything surrounding this game. My biggest complaint, honestly, on the gameplay side is being loaded into later matches. So every match starts off at 30 minutes. Sometimes I get into matches that's 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And for me, it's kind of annoying, especially when you come in with a set loadout and you might have some of your favorite guns and stuff that you don't want to lose. Now you only got 10 minutes left. So at that point, it's no point in looting. Everything is probably looted. So you're either going to PvP, fight your way up out of this, or just go to the quickest extraction and, you know, try to make it back to Speranza. But yeah, man, it's an absolutely great game. Fantastic gameplay loop, man. Amazing audio. It's just so refreshing and so nice to get 2 shooters this year that I honestly feels like respect my time, my money, my effort. And that's Battlefield 6. I got the platinum for that, and it's Arc Raiders as well. I hope to strive to get the platinum for this one day, but I'm not really too pressed about it. But man, I absolutely love this game, man. I can't recommend it enough, man. And another highlight I really like is the community, man. You know, running into friendly raiders is always intense to see if they're gonna backstab you or not, man. I've met some really cool freaking randoms on some solo runs, and that's another thing as far as gameplay I forgot to mention, right? You can play this with duos, solo. You can fill your squad or choose not to. Solo runs is very intense, but I seem to meet like more friendly people when I'm by myself. When they see you with a full team, sometimes people shoot first and ask questions later. You know, the fact that you can res random people that you come across in the world is absolutely fantastic. If you got a defibrillator, you can pick up a random guy. You know, you go in the game chat, you try to talk to people, try to talk your way out of situations. And, you know, it's also pieces of shit out there in the community too. Like, I'm not going to lie. If they load me into a game with 15 minutes, 10 minutes left, I'm on demon time. The first raiders I see, I'm sorry. It's not my fault I came here late, so I'm going to backstab you. I'm going to shoot you down. And, you know, that builds character. You know, I know people hate when people do that grimy shit, but I got way more moments in this game of just being cool and friendly than I have of, you know, just being a murdering dickhead. But, you know, it is PvPvE. Sorry, that's a lot of P's to say and E's, right? But, you know, so you got to have some player versus player action eventually, man. But you can go so long in this game without ever having to fight anybody, man. I've had runs where I played 2-3 hour sessions where I didn't shoot a raider not once or got shot at once. You know, I mind my business, I loot. You know, they got missions in the game. Like I mentioned, they got upgrades, skill trees, they got cosmetics. The little battle pass, the way they do that is really dope. Man, for me, this game is a 10 out of 10. You know, when it comes to the multiplayer experience, I haven't experienced anything like it this gen. Embark Studios deserves all the flowers that they will get and continue to get. Guys, I highly recommend this game. For $40, you will not regret it. It's been your boy NextGenNero. Please hit that like button, subscribe, share this with a friend, because the algorithm has definitely been fucking us over. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'm doing it. Yeah, I did it. I'm still alive. I made it. Let's go. Let's go.